Yo ho. What's up, gang? How we doing? All right. I made it this time. We're on time. On schedule. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Oh. My Swiss Army Notebook Director's Commentary. Epic. Let's go. Sticker Mule is my ad. Destiny, what's up? How we doing? All right. Let's get this show on the road, shall we, my friends? All right. Today's episode, commentary thingamajig. Hold on. Let me up the gain here for a second. Hold on. Just make sure we're all good. How's that? Oh yeah, but that's better, huh? Is that better? Hold on, let me update it on my phone here. Let me hear it. How's that? Oh yeah, but that's better, huh? That's better. All right. Okie dokie schmoky. So today, taking a look at this week's episode, My Swiss Army Notebook. This one has been, so far, very well received. Thank you guys for watching it, and thanks to those that left comment. Appreciate you guys' comments, as always. I love reading comments, dude. Comments are my favorite thing. Comments are my absolute favorite thing. Let's take a look here. Get a little gander at the old analytics whilst we're here chilling. All right, good stuff. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, put this right over here, and then let's get started, gang. Without further ado. This is a 10-minute and 24-second video, 25 seconds according to YouTube. There we go. Get that chat pulled up on my phone. Here we go. Grand. Okay. Let's get the screen changed, and then we're going to hop in. Hop in the old timeline. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now this is on my mind, so I don't want to say it, but this is the last video that I mean, obviously things could change, but this video is the last one that I will have used Epidemic Sound. The next week's video is with my own recorded music. I bought this keyboard, a few days ago, and so I've been playing with it and learning on it and stuff. And I made the music for next week's video. So stick around for that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I had a really fun time. It adds a whole new wrinkle to the whole process. I quite enjoy it. All right, starting from the very beginning. A lot of things going on here. Let's check it out. This is my Swiss Army Notebook. This is my pocket notebook. It is the most... Love how it's like such a mess all the time. And I had to clear... I wanted to do this shot for a long time where I like clear out the garbage. This is my pocket notebook. Yeah. It is the most versatile tool... Love that. There's a little xylophone sound effect there. Versatile tool that I use in my creative arsenal. The pocket notebook is the Swiss Army knife of stationery products. Basically, it's each tool, the pocket notebook and the Swiss Army knife, has a tremendous variety of uses. The features of the pocket notebook are pretty scarce. Covers, pages, lines. This was cool. I liked that. I liked that edit. That was fun. I was able to like flip through the pages with one hand, make that look really neat. Pages, lines. I like to I did this a couple times in this episode where I just drop the book. I think that looks cool because it's the overhead, but something about it falling farther away. I think it ended up looking really cool. And that's about it. But the uses, that's an entirely different story. The uses of the pocket notebook include... I think my paint pen is going dead because it's not nearly as full. Although I say that, but I think it was just... Oh wow, yeah. I think it was just running kind of dry. I needed to shake it a little bit. Sometimes it kind of does that. It's weird. But are not limited to writing, making to-do list, drawing, planning. As you can see with this, there's a lot of different things that I cut out after the scratch paper. For a test, flip book. This was cool. That was really cool. I'm going to watch that back again. Let's watch that back again. This was something I was coming up with in the writing, and I was like, oh, I have to do this. I've never used the pocket notebook for this particular feature before, but... Also, if you pay close attention, you can see the cover of the book has slightly been tampered with. So, That's a little Easter egg for those that watched to the end of the video today.
A flip book, a tripod, a pillow, shot listing.
So anyway, I was talking about how after or before, so this is all in order, right? And you see the little list, but then it goes away because I end up cutting out a few of those things. And so in doing so, I kind of strayed away from this shot of that list. So how I did this list was, here, let me show you a better view of it. So this is a bunch of those little note cards stuck together to where it's like a really long list. And I just wrote all the things on there. And I actually reversed this shot, so what I ended up doing was I pulled it from the top down to where, you know, it was backwards. And then as it was reversed, it was like the top of the list was coming up. It was like scrolling up the screen. Johnny says, "What's up? What's up, man?
Test.
How we doing, Johnny? Hope you're well, my friend. I hope you're well."
A tripod.
Dude, I couldn't tell you how many times I've used the Pocket Notebook as a tripod. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
A pillow. Shot listing. Blueprinting a build.
Perfect.
Thumbnails.
Dang it.
Sketching.
Oh, did I? Oh, that's clever, actually. I just realized I hit the space bar to try and pause this, but I think I had YouTube toggled because it punched an ad in there by accident. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay. Okay. I'm there. Anyway, this was fun. I remember it's so cool looking back because I remember when I first concocted the Pocket Notebook bookshelf idea, and I wrote it down and drew it and stuff, and then now it exists. That's really one of the cool things about building stuff is just, you know, you have things that you start them off. They start off as just plans, and then they end up actually coming to life. It's such a cool thing. Very satisfying.
Printing a build. Sketching thumbnails.
This was the thumbnail sketch of the 10-year supply of Pocket Notebooks video. We're kind of messed up here, camera-wise. I think that looks a little bit better. But this is the thumbnail sketch of the 10-year supply of Pocket Notebooks. There's so many thumbnails I came up with, and the funny thing is I didn't use any of them. I ended up doing something completely different. Well, not completely different, but quite different than, like, you know, I think it's pretty cool. So I could have done all of these, and you never know.
Testing out markers. It's actually waterproof too.
This is recycled footage, but this was so cool. It was this was a really cool shot. This was from the video called "You Need a Pocket Notebook, and Here's Why." This was one of the reasons because it's waterproof. I didn't realize this, and this was actually very ballsy of me to do. I just ran it underneath the water with the tape on it and stuff, and it was brand new. It wasn't a scratch on it. It's great. Johnny says, "I'm good. I really like the paper Swiss Army knife you made. Fits perfectly in your style." Hey, thanks, man. I was really happy with that. It was very tedious to make all that, though. There's some footage, actually, of me cutting out the blades. I'm not sure if I left it in the video. I don't think I did. I don't recall. It would have been quick if I left it in there, but there's some footage of me, like, cutting out the blades, and I shot that just in case I needed it, which I ended up not needing it, so it works out.
Now, I don't currently own a Swiss Army knife.
Did the best I could with what I had, aka it's my paper.
But I made this version to create a visual for the
Dang it. Try again.
I made this version to create a visual.
See, I already had all these little blades cut out, so I was putting them in there in order, but there is some footage before that I made that isn't in this video of me drawing out and cutting out the blade and the saw and the bottle opener and all that stuff.
To create a visual for this video. The Swiss Army knife has an abundance of features.
I wanted to get one of those things where it's like a pin, right? You can poke it in there and like fold the little tabs over. Then it's kind of like a hinge, but it's for little crafty products like that. I would like to have used that for the base of the notebook, or of the knife, and then been able to like actually function with the stuff, but I didn't have any of those on hand, so, you know, I had to do what I had to do.
You've got the knife, scissors, a file, a saw, corkscrew.
This was such a fun animation.
And a whole lot more things.
So let me tell you guys about this animation here. So this had to be fiddled with a little bit, so I did it all stop motion, you know, frame by frame, nothing really new. But what I had to do, whenever I was recording the voiceover, I set it in a particular order. I said blade, I did it like this: scissors, file, saw, corkscrew, and then bottle opener was the last thing, right? Bottle opener was the very last thing. as you can see, if you can really look close, there's a line right down the center of the screen. Right down the middle, it's this side is a little bit different color than this side. It's like kind of cut, right? So what I ended up having to do with this edit, so because I had animated the items out of order, what I did was I had to finagle it to where, like, okay, so these first two, the knife and the scissors, are perfectly normal. No weird line in the middle of the screen where there's like a crop. And then it comes to here where these extra clips are added in. And so what I did here is I had to crop. So this is over this. So I had to crop it so that way the bottle opener wasn't there yet. I needed to maneuver that because I set it, or I animated it out of order to what I actually had set it. So I had to crop that out for the time being until I got all the way to bottle opener, and I still had to crop it because bottle opener was actually the third thing that I animated as opposed to the sixth thing that I animated. So it was a little funny. So I'm glad with how I'm happy with how it turned out. I wish I had just done it right, but also you can't really go back and change that, so it is what it is. Above all trades, how long does shooting these videos take you? Like, how many days, and do you already know in your mind what shots to take before editing, or you just shoot so many things and make a story out of it? Well, I'll tell you exactly. And there's actually a video. Last week's video is my creative process, and that's kind of like basically answering that question word for word. But essentially, I will write the story first, shoot the voiceover. I'll read through what I've written, basically. And then I'll go through, I'll put it in the editing software and like chop out all the obvious bits that need to be deleted. And then I'll go through and visualize, okay, what I'm listening to it. What I usually do is I'll go through the voiceover and listen to it with my eyes closed. And then I'll picture, and I'll write down what I think needs to be on the screen at that moment in time. So to answer your question, first of all, it takes me a couple of days. It depends on how much work I can get in. Depending on how much I can work per day. Usually, if I can work the whole day, it takes me like a day, maybe two. And if I can work only a little bit, then it varies. But whenever I'm shooting, I don't have anything in mind. Unless, well, okay, when I'm writing the thing, I do have some things in mind, but that's also very general. It varies a lot from video to video. Usually, I'll write the story out, and then if I ever have anything that comes to mind, like a shot I want to get, I'll write it down off to the side. And then when I listen back through the voiceover of me going through everything, then I will write a shot list and get a list of shots that I want based on that voiceover, and then eventually I will go and shoot that list in order. That way, it's all I can put it in easy. And my man says, I can't stay long, but I wanted to hop in here and say that your new video was great. I love getting to hear about your philosophy with the pocket notebook. The stop motion was brilliant. Great job, bro. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. I know you can't stay long, but I'm glad you're here nonetheless. Appreciate all the kind words, my friend. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. And I hope the rest of your day is good, whatever you end up doing.
File, a saw, corkscrew, bottle opener.
And of course, through this, I had to add all the sound effects as well, because you got to have the sound effects.
Corkscrew, bottle opener, and a whole lot more things depending on the model of the knife you have. The beauty, to me, of carrying a pocket notebook, carrying one on me every day, all the time, is that it gets used in a lot of different ways. Now at first, carrying a pocket notebook on me 24/7 was kind of a hassle.
You know what's funny? When I was writing that, I couldn't exactly remember how I felt in the early days of carrying the notebook. But then after that, I watched back one of my first pocket notebook videos, and I was talking about how it was kind of a hassle, which I was like, great. It means I didn't accidentally lie. That's awesome. Somehow I knew it, but just, it didn't feel quite right when I was writing it, but I ended up being right after all, so it was cool. I do have a question. The hardest part for me when making videos is the initial idea. I often write a script and abandon it because it's not up to my standards of quality. You post weekly. How? Where do the ideas come from? Well, there's a lot to unpack with that, because I would say if you have trouble with your standard of quality, then throw your standard of quality out the window. And I'm being honest here, being real. If your quality standard is what is in the way of if that's what's in the way of you and posting, throw it out the window. Because the only, like, here's the thing. There's always going to be someone that either A, loves your work, or B, thinks it sucks and it's the worst thing ever. There's always going to be those two people. Somebody that loves it and somebody that hates it. And so it does not matter. It doesn't matter what, as long as you enjoy making the thing, and that's good. And obviously, if you want to make it good, but then there's the question, why do you, like, why is your standard of quality where it is, Because it's not up to us to determine what is, like, obviously there's our own standard, but it's like, it depends on what you're in it for, I think it's the thing you really have to do is if you have an idea, because you should talk about when you write a script, you abandon it. Don't abandon it. Commit to the idea. Commit to the idea and then get it finished. Even if it ends up sucking and you hate it, finish the project. Because if you have a bunch of started projects and you don't ever finish anything, then you're not going to get anywhere with that. You have to finish, because then once you've finished, you can use that work to determine your next step. Like maybe you didn't like something particular about that video. You can use that as a finished product and change it for the next one. It's not, one video, and if it doesn't work, then it sucks. Like, you have to build your skills and your confidence over the course of a ton of different videos. So, and you post weekly, how? I love it, and I want to do it consistently. And that's, I put the work in and make it happen. That's basically it. It's kind of a silly, simple answer, but that's just the truth. I want it to happen, and I'm determined to make it happen, so I make it happen. And I write, it stresses me out having to write a lot sometimes, but it works, It's what we do. And you can always, you can look anywhere in the entire world for inspiration for, like, ideas and stuff. Jason Green says, make mistakes and learn from them. Fail fast. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, man. I could not agree more. Like, because you're going to fail anyway, right? You're going to fail at something one way or another anyway. And it also depends on your definition of failure, Is it a failure, or is it an opportunity to learn something else? Like, if it's all about your perspective, because if you have a positive outlook and a good perspective, then it's like, bro, you could just never, it could be considered a failure, or it could be considered a stepping stone to the next thing, and getting better at a thing, Though the ideas just come from, like, anything I've ever thought of in my entire life. If I ever have a thought, I'm like, I want to explore that further. Or, like, literally this video was born of, I don't remember what it was. I wrote a note in my phone one day, and I was like, the pocket notebook is like a Swiss Army knife. That is all I wrote. I wrote down like 6 words, and then I was like, you sit down at that idea, and you stare at it, and you try and dissect it, and you just, like, break it down. And you're like, okay, so why? What makes it like a Swiss Army knife? What do these things have in common? What can I tell a story about that relates to these, what can I tell a story about that relates to these things? Like, would that even make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, how can I make it make sense, So, I think as far as, like, how you get so many videos made is just, if it ends up not being good, whoop-de-doo, do the next one, That's the way I've seen it. It's just like, I could have this idea and it ends up not where I wanted it to, but I'm still happy with it. Then I'm just like, okay, I can figure it differently next time. Start from a different angle, do something different. Because it's like, if you feel like I kind of got stuck in a routine or whatever, doing something, change something up, it's like, it can help, right? And that's what they say is, insanity is when you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So if you feel like you're kind of stuck for ideas, try approaching your ideas differently, Maybe try, going outside and thinking. Try doing some kind of something else. Like, again, I have a video about this. Not last week, but the week before. The video is about how to not write in your pocket notebook. And that's about, like, if you don't have any ideas, what do you do? That's the gist of that video, is what do I do? That's basically like telling my perspective. Like, what do I do when I don't have anything to write? And that's where I go from there. So hopefully that ramble answered your question. And feel free to follow up with any other questions if you have any.
But in spite of all that, as I have been carrying this notebook for over a
Also, that's crazy. It was over a year when I started writing in the notebook. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
year now, I have found...
Also, another thing I just thought of, Ans, I don't know if you're still here, but, oh, there we go. Damn, for real, giving me a lot to think about. Thank you a ton. I'm going to get back to work. I'm excited to see where it goes. Appreciate you, man. Real quick, you said you've been staring at a blank Google Doc for the past hour. Make it not empty. Put something on there, and don't erase it. Just keep writing. Just put stuff on there. Write it down on paper. Do whatever. Just don't let it be empty. Just keep putting stuff on, even if it's random, even if it's complete garbage. Just put stuff on the paper, and then just keep going and keep going and keep going, and then just let it go. If it's just get stuff down. The how you write and how you come up with ideas is by like getting the ball rolling, putting something down, going from there, branching off of that, and just building and building and building and building, and then before you know it, you have something.
that I enjoy having all my ideas and thoughts on me all the time in physical copy. Versatility is the ability to be widely used or applied.
See, this was a big thing about this video. I remember, like last week or whatever, I was trying to write this. Will do. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you, man. I'm glad I could help. Last week I was having a lot of trouble writing this video. This was the hardest one to write in a long time. I was having trouble getting versatility to relate to ownership of a thing. Like, I was really struggling with that. Had a lot of talks with Maddie about it, and like she picked my brain a little bit and got some good perspective. So she helped me a lot with that, with the writing of this video. But this, I think, is one of my better written videos, but it is also one of the harder ones I had to do. Like, writing wise, it was one of the harder ones to write. So, but I really was happy with how it all tied itself together at the end.
If something is versatile, it has many uses. And by carrying this notebook on my person literally all the time, I feel a tremendous sense of pride. Is this pride I feel pride in myself, or is it pride in my ability to be versatile, to be useful? By carrying this notebook, or a Swiss Army knife for example, I make myself that much more useful, that much more versatile. Why do I feel pride in this notebook? I mean, after all, it's just a notebook. Why does carrying this thing...
I really like this shot. I couldn't explain it. I think it's because you can see just a notebook there, and then like the overhead shooting rig in the side kind of frames it all real nice. I don't know. It looks good to me.
Instill a sense of pride in me.
Also, I'm pretty sure I almost accidentally match cut there, because the just a notebook is in a very similar spot. I almost accidentally match cut that.
Instill a sense...
Oh, that would have been sick if I could have done that. Imagine. So if that's there, we're gonna do like this. That would have been cool. But hey, it's, you know what? Too little, too late. Am I right?
A sense of pride in me. Is it my desire to be helpful? Is it a compulsion to be creative?
Also, I really dig this shot. I really dig it because there's like the two planters on the side, and then there's the path in the middle, and then it's just so crispy. Next time. Does that mean see you next time? Might be. If it does, see you, man. Take her easy.
What?
Oh, just look at that, dude. In the red, right in the center. That just pops, dude. That pops.
How do I feel this sense of pride?
Oh, see that? Peep the scissors. Look at that. The little scissors were stuck to the notebook. Oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Yes, sir, Bob.
About an inanimate object.
I didn't realize, but I was looking at the camera in this shot. Oops. The match cut. You'll do it next time. Oh, next time. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep. No, I will definitely make sure that happens next time.
What does this notebook even do for...
Oh, there's the scissors again. Could we expect a match cut next video? Next video I've already finished, so I don't think so. But next video, like May, when it comes out, May 13th, 12th. Yeah.
Ownership can be simply defined as...
I see. This was the thing I had struggled with the writing. Was like, I had to introduce versatility, and I had to introduce ownership separately. And then the goal was to try and connect the two. That was where I had a lot of struggle. It was like, I have this idea, and how it relates to Pocket Notebook, and I had in the story as a whole, of course. And then I had this idea and how it relates to the story. How do these two relationships, how do they have a relationship with each other? And I think I got that figured out towards the end.
The act, state, or right of possessing something. For example, one might have ownership over a pocket knife or a notebook.
Notebook.
But what if one owns a thing, but has a particular amount of pride based upon that thing?
Wow, so you were always one video up? I have been for maybe a month and a half, maybe. Like, it's been a solid chunk of time I've been 1 week ahead, which I have never done that before, and I'm loving it because I have so much more time to work on each video. Instead of like 4 days to get it done, I have like basically the whole week, which is nice because, you know, I especially with the whole change and everything, like moving and getting a job and all that, like there's so much stuff I have to do. So it's hard to kind of find a routine just yet. So being a video ahead was tremendously helpful. Like very, 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 very helpful. So I'm going to try and just keep it that way all the time.
Is that more than simply ownership? Does it even make sense to be proud of a thing?
Pete, my Oscar. You see my Oscar down the bottom left-hand corner? Easter eggs, my friend. From past videos. Easter eggs.
An object that I own. This is just a notebook. What's so great about it? The reason I carry a pocket notebook is to be able to, distraction-free, jot down any and all ideas that I may have while on the go.
Also, I really like this shot. I've done this shot multiple times where the boom arm is in focus and then what's actually the focus of the video is not in focus. I just think it's kind of like a perspective of an outsider looking in because you can't really see, but you're kind of like hiding behind the scenes.
Maybe the pride.
Also, you hear that little jingle in the background? Right there? That's Daisy. Her little collar's got a little name tag on there or whatever, and it jingles whenever she walks. Ding-ling.
Maybe the pride comes from...
Also, if you notice this, I'm on the last page of my notebook, and I'm just writing between those words just so I don't have to start the new notebook yet. Like, start writing in it. Although, there it is right there. That's a new one. That's the new notebook that I'm getting ready to customize. Or, you know, I mean, what?
The feeling of control the notebook gives me. Maybe since it keeps me from getting distracted by my phone,
Another excuse me. Another shot I quite like.
feel...
Although I wish I had wiped my phone screen off before that because it looks really gross. Didn't notice that until I watched it back. I was like, oh man, could have wiped the thing off before. Jeez.
more in control and therefore proud. Now and again, when I'm writing, I refer back to...
Oh, that was smooth as butter, my friends. Check it out. See this? We got bang, 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 bang. Ready? And then I swipe the camera. Little pan cut. Little swipe cut, whatever. Oh, you see that? Bang. Jump cut right there. Bang. But we end up... Whoa, movie magic, movie magic. And zoom. Boom. Look at that. Look at that.
I refer back to
Boom.
some of my older videos for potential inspiration. The other day when I was writing this, I was looking through my catalog of videos and found this one.
The pocket. I love that video. I watched it back whenever I was shooting this, and I was like going through and trying to like figure it out. I really like that video. I enjoy that quite a bit. Just write something down real quick.
I describe the story of my pocket notebook setup ritual. And as I'm watching this video back and reflecting on this message, I realize something that I think answers my question of why do I feel pride in this notebook?
Oh yeah, dude. I love this whole sequence. Oh man, I'm digging it. I remember this. This is good stuff.
When one is learning a new skill, one begins to take pride in that skill, or take ownership of their abilities.
Oh, there she is. Look at her watching.
How to play a song on the guitar. They will go around and show it to everyone because they're proud of it.
This shot is me showing the song to Daisy, and she is clearly uninterested. Look at her. She's like, okay, I'm more interested in what's happening outside this window. Which was nothing, by the way.
In my case, with each new notebook I begin...
Ooh, that's cool. Oh, you know what? I forgot there are match cuts in this video.
In my case, with each new notebook I begin, I put it through a series of setup rituals.
Oh, I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if anybody watching caught that, but each cut is on a syllable. A series of rituals. Of setup rituals. Each syllable gets a cut, so it just kind of switches the notebooks up. Keeps the shot nice and interesting.
I put it through
a series of setup rituals.
Over time, I have developed the manner in which I set one of these notebooks up for use. With each new notebook comes a slightly different iteration of the setup ritual. As of writing this part...
Honestly, it was so clutch. It is always so clutch whenever I'm stuck on a video and I'm trying to write it, and then I go back and watch some of my old videos, and then the solution just presents itself. It's crazy because like it's all hidden in my old videos. It's so amazing. I don't know. It's just wild to me.
The video. I'm on page 144. Approaching page 145, full steam ahead. And my point in saying that is, this notebook is almost full. The ritual I perform...
Oh! Bro, that, I forgot. I always forget about that. That is so... Dude, watch this back. Pay very close attention. I'm going to blow it up.
Full.
Look at this, ready?
The ritual I perform...
That's a different notebook. It's a different freaking notebook, dude. Check it out. Check it out. See, look at this. Ready? It's the orange one. And then a few frames later, it's the pink one! Look at that. Ready?
The ritual I perform...
Movie magic. Movie freaking magic, dude. That's amazing.
...in setting up a new notebook is, I think...
Get out of here. I mean, you can see, if you pay really close attention, you can see the notebooks, like, getting eliminated from the back. So, like, the blue one's in the background, okay? And then, oh, it's gone. Come on. It's too good.
Is, I think...
That was such a fun edit to put together because I was like, bro, this is so epic. This is so freaking satisfying. I thought they were taped together. Mind blown. Oh, no way you actually thought they were taped together. That's so cool. Hey, what that means is the editor did his job. AKA me. I edited this. That's so cool. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Jason, I'm so glad you said that.
The ritual I perform in setting up a new notebook is...
It's one of those things. Like, it just happens. So, this is one of those edits that it's like 99% in the shooting. Because if the notebooks weren't lined up when I did that, it would totally throw off the illusion. But when it's in, whenever everything is exactly in the same, like what I had to do whenever I was shooting this, I lined up the middle notebook consumes the middle third of the grid. So that there's the rule of thirds grid, which if those of you who don't know what it is in the shot, your frame, which is what you see, that's broken up into 9 even squares, rectangles. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's a 3x3 grid. And so each third is typically where you line things up on. So this notebook takes up the middle third. So the 3 rectangles in the middle, in the very center of the screen. So I made sure when I was shooting this to make sure each notebook was in the exact same lining up location. I want to make sure it was in the exact same location. And so whenever I did this, I could just line up. So like the end of the pages, lined it up with the spine of the next book. And that's just one cut. That's like a quick, and it's moving the whole time. So then it's full speed, it's impossible to see it. It's a complete illusion. And so when I have them in the same location, it makes it really easy to line those things up. And that is what provides that authentic, makes your job easy. Exactly it does, Jason. Like, if I were to have shot this poorly, then I would have had to crop and adjust, and then everything would look faked. Whereas this looks like you taped the notebooks together. Because it's just so quick, and it's like, it's a sleight of hand kind of thing.
ritual I perform in
Look at
setting
that.
up the notebook.
Come on, man. Come on. It would have been even better. I think if I wanted to kind of hide this in the back where like the notebooks are slightly disappearing one by one. But if I wanted to go even further into authenticity or like how to, really get you into the edit, I would have taken these books out of the background completely and then just flipped the notebooks over and then left the background green. But I really liked the idea of being able to see one by one the notebooks leaving the background. Jason says, helps that the rig keeps the camera at the exact same spot. Dude, it is clutch. And it's great because, like, obviously I could bump into it and, like, the camera can move, but I rebuilt it recently to where it's bigger now, so I don't accidentally hit it hardly ever. Like, I used to accidentally hit it because it was kind of narrow, so my elbow would hit it or whatever, but now it's so big that it's just hidden. I want to build, like, a breakdownable version where, like, I can shoot it overhead, but I can break it down to where, like, there's hinges on the legs so I can close it up and tuck it away and store it somewhere. Because this is kind of big at its current state. It's kind of big. Not bad, but it's a little big.
Is, I think, part of...
And if I did that, I would, like, get new wood, new everything. I would just build it from scratch again. I wouldn't, like, use the existing pieces. I would do something probably a little bit smaller, a little lighter weight, but still that would cover the same area. We'll see. We'll see.
Where this sense of pride comes from. This notebook isn't just any old notebook.
I had to put the roll of painter's tape on the corner because the cover kept coming up in this shot.
It's my notebook.
And this is why you watch the director's commentaries, because if you didn't watch that, you wouldn't know. Unless you just paid stupidly close attention to that 1-2 second clip, and you were like, oh, that makes sense.
My notebook. I think, too, the pride in carrying this notebook around isn't just from the ritual of setting it up. There's also, to me...
Do you have marks for its position of the green mat and all the camera settings? Ever have to reshoot something and splice it with older footage? No, actually, I kind of just wing that. Like, usually what I'll do is the green mat is great for, like, cutting and doing projects, but it's actually really good for setting up the shot. And actually, now that you mention it, I do have marks. So if you look, this little black, so this mat is 17 by 11, 17 inches by 11 inches, at least in this grid. And if you see right here in the top, okay, so on your screen, it'll be like top middle. You might not be able to see it because I can't really get it bigger than this. But top middle, there is a black hash mark right at like 8.5 inches. So that to me represents, that is the center of the mat. And so what I'll do is I'll center that in my shot. I'll make sure that is centered in my shot, and then make sure the shot's straight and everything like that. But that mark is not only is it the middle of the mat, but it's the center of the shot. So if I can use that to center up my shot, then everything else looks better. So I actually do have a mark. I didn't even think about that. The position, that's the thing. If I have that mark and I get the camera straight, then I don't need any other marks on the desk or anything like that. So, and that's not new, but that's not old either. Like, that's maybe the last 6 months, 8 months, I've implemented that system where I just literally took a paint pen to it and just put a little hash on 8.5 inches on both sides of the mat. That also helps for, like, centering things if I'm trying to get a different shot. And obviously, if I zoom, it's a little bit different. And also, the overhead rig is actually, like, I don't know, I think it's kind of, like, off just like a smidgen. So I have to tilt the camera a certain way to accommodate for that. But it all ends up working out.
Pride in its versatility. As I mentioned before, there are a ton of different ways that I use my pocket notebook. And there are also
copy and paste, baby.
Many ways you could use a Swiss Army.
I was thinking of something earlier, or like while I was in the midst of the last edit or the edit before. It's so funny that, like, as I get more footage and as I apply more footage to these videos, like, I'm able to recycle a lot of footage, because I've noticed a lot recently, the past few months, I've been recycling a lot of footage because I'm, like, reflecting more in the videos as of late, to where a lot of the footage is stuff I've already shot. Like, all the things that I need to recycle. So, like, next week's video, I think I recycled, like, at least 2 or 3 different shots. because I know I had it. And that's the beauty of having a well-organized hard drive as well. Like, I know exactly where it is, know exactly when I shot it, or what video, because I know what video everything was shot for. So that's just my knowledge. So I know when I shot it, or I know what video it was for, and I can go back and figure out what day that video was shot, and then I, dig and dig and dig, and then I find a shot easy, because it's all organized by date, and it's all organized by month, and technically it's by year, but also by month. So it's like I have a folder for January of 23, and I have a folder of January of 24. So like I need to actually go through and have a 2023 folder and have a 2024 folder all separately. But that's a project for another day. Shouldn't be too long of a project though. But anyway, I have all my footage organized so I can go back and get it. So the point I was trying to make was like, the more I make videos, the more I'm able to, and really the better I store my footage, the more I'm able to reference back and therefore recycle shots, which makes my work a lot easier because I don't have to shoot that again. Like, I know I have a shot that tells the story, so why shoot it again?
And like a Swiss Army knife, my notebook.
Also, I wanted to make this point because there's been people in the community Discord that have talked about like, how do I, make a video if I'm reading a script or something, how do I make it to where you can't see that I'm looking at the script? And obviously you don't want to just sit there and look at the script the whole time, but these little times where my eyes flash down, let me come back up. This is like a second, right?
A Swiss Army knife, my notebook.
In this split second, I read the next sentence and then repeated it. But my point in saying this is, it's okay to like check your stuff for a half a second and then go back. Because if it ends up in the video, not once have I gotten a comment about that. And not, people don't care, And really the talking head shots are ones that you kind of like, you look somewhere else for that time. Like, you don't really pay. The talking head, there's nothing really interesting to look at. So it's like, whatever. And, shoot. It's like the way I think of it. In high school, I really enjoyed speech class. Where we'd write speeches, give speeches, that kind of thing. I enjoyed doing that. And I think of these videos a lot like speeches in that. So, like, how they say to do it. Because I gave a speech at graduation and a bunch of other things as a senior because I was president. So I gave 4 speeches senior year, which was, it feels a lot the same. But my point is, one of the things they teach you in speech is like when you're talking to an audience, and essentially this is what we're doing, through the camera. So what we're doing, you're addressing the audience about what you have the speech written of. So you obviously need to follow your notes because that's what you're talking about. But every sentence or something, like every now and again, you're referencing a thing. What I always did was I would follow it with my finger. So I'd like go here and I would stop and I would look at the audience and say the thing, and then I would find it with my finger. So my point is, what they taught you was, you look down, but you want to be talking to the thing, to the audience, and it's okay to look down, but also, this is your main focus. Who you're talking to is the main focus, but obviously you have to check and like make sure you're in line and stuff. So. Though that's the way I think of it when I shoot these videos, is like I try my best at all times, especially because it's easy because I can just edit out if I don't like it, but to address the camera. And if I get mixed up or say the wrong thing, I'll refer to it and I'll read it back in my head and I'm like, okay, and I recite it to the camera. So, yeah.
Like a Swiss Army knife, my notebook.
Basically, I leave that shot in there of me looking down to let you guys know, if you see that it's okay. It's cool. And it doesn't really harm the video. So there you go.
My notebook has its primary use. Writing. Writing is
I think, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, no.
Writing is to my notebook.
Oh yeah, check this out.
As the knife blade.
Oh yeah, look at that beautiful cut. Gorgeous.
Is to the Swiss Army knife. There are many other uses, obviously, with the Swiss Army knife, but writing is the main function of the book, and the knife is the main function of the Swiss Army knife.
I also find it nice and easy when, like, obviously I'm not looking at my notebook here, but what I'm doing is I'm looking off, and I'm trying to recall what I just read what I wrote, but I'm trying to sit back and recall it without addressing the notebook again. That way I can leave this all in instead of having to cover it up or cut it or whatever. Because if I sit here like this and I'm like, okay, so blank, 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 words, sentences, script. If I sit here like this, holding it's different. But if I have it before I shoot, I'm like, okay, blankety, blankety, blank, say this, and then I'll go, okay, and I'll repeat it. And sometimes if I forget, I'm like, it's like I'm thinking of what I'm trying to say in real time, and then by the time I've come back, I remember it and I say it.
Writing is the main function of the book, and the knife is the main function of the Swiss Army knife. Where my pride and versatility comes in is how I use my notebook. Sure, it would be just another notebook if all I did was write in it. But with my notebook, there is so much more to it. To me, my pocket notebook is a multi-tool.
Oh yeah.
With each creative project, I'm able to apply my pocket notebook in a huge variety of ways. From overhead shots to thumbnails and...
Remember that thumbnail? Remember that from last week? If you didn't watch it, go watch it. It's a banger.
as a tripod to a sketchbook. This thing is versatile. Okay. This book is almost...
See that? That's my shot list. That's my shot list. The shot is almost full. 8th pocket notebook, 13 months. That's the shot I'm on. So this is what I'm getting. Almost full.
And this is the 8th pocket
8. Putting on the shelf.
filled up in the last 13 months or so.
If you pay super close attention and pause the video at that moment exactly, you can see that's the shot I'm on. And if you look too, this is the next shots I need to get. So if you pay really close attention, you can see. Just so you know, for future reference, if you wanna get in on the secrets, you gotta pause the video when the notebook comes up.
Almost full. And this is the 8th pocket notebook I will have filled up in the last 13 months or so. And by the time you're watching this video, I will be well into my next notebook. So let's go ahead and set it up.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to setting up,
See that? This was done after this. Let me see. Yes. This was done after this because this is footage with the blank notebook. This is the messy desk, and this actually, the notebook in my hand actually has the Swiss Army logo painted on there. I just used a shot that did not feature that front cover, so I could like kind of sneak it in there. Because the taping, I actually labeled this footage. This is taping. This is the logo drawing. So the taping actually happened after the logo drawing, but I wanted a blank of starting this.
a book, usually something changes.
See, all you're seeing is the back cover, which actually is supposed to be the front cover because I made it upside down, but that's annoying. And we'll let it go.
I face some
We'll let it
sort
go.
of conflict, and the resolution is the newest notebook being changed or evolved in some way. In setting up this book, what's the conflict? What am I changing? Okay, let's think back to earlier. Why do I take pride in this notebook? Well, why do I? I use it a lot. For a lot of different things. Okay, so
Yeah, so this was a scratch paper I had to use. I was doing an online assessment or something for my job, for my new job, and one of the things was there was like a math section. And so they said you couldn't have a calculator or a dictionary or whatever. So I was like, okay, it's my pocket notebook, bruh. You could have a scratch paper, but you couldn't have like a calculator. So I had to do all the long division and the math in my head, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's been a while.
I take pride in it. But what exactly
Notice I colored the pride red. That was for funsies.
makes it
Actually, that was for because I was going to put it here, and so I wanted it to pop because it was white, so like, it wouldn't have stood out in the shot as much. So I made it red to, stand out a little bit.
mine? That's the...
And check it out. This is, let me see here. I think this was script or something I had written down.
Conflict I'm facing for this new notebook.
Love this shot here.
Makes this notebook that I write in truly mine. The ritual.
Look at, dude, that's amazing to me that this is my ninth pocket notebook that I've written in. And I'm like 50 something pages in, so I'm like almost halfway through. It's crazy, dude. I'm loving it, dude. I'm loving it.
Is what makes it mine. The ritual, in and of itself, is the ownership. But part of the ritual, too, is making some kind of change. Each notebook is a step in the evolutionary process. So with this new notebook, what's the change?
Eh?
The result of facing this particular notebook-related conflict. What could I do?
This was a fun shot to get. I had to like peep through the window and line it up, and it was all sorts of fun.
With the new notebook that...
Oh, remember that shot I was talking about earlier? This is the anti. You know, the first shot I was walking down. This shot I'm walking back up. That's like a bookend, my friends. That's how you bookend the story. Have that shot at the beginning of the video, I'm doing something, and then the shot at the end when I'm coming back. It's cool. It's cool.
Stands to solve a problem I faced when using the previous notebook. How do I make something uniquely mine?
Anyone? Any guesses? Any guesses on the answer to this question here? Expect rain about 9 p.m. Oh boy.
Okay. Customize.
Customize.
To make it feel like it's uniquely mine, I must customize my new pocket notebook.
Oh
This
yeah.
particular notebook with this particular customization represents not only versatility, but the pride that I feel for ownership of this, my Swiss Army notebook.
Get out of here. I love that the beat, every time I try and do that, where the beat is on the very last. Like the beat drops right at the very end. That's so cool.
Notebook.
And it's nice too. I think it's so satisfying when the end is the title. Like, it's talking about this, my Swiss Army notebook, and that's the title of the video. Like, that's so cool to me.
Of this, my Swiss Army notebook.
Boom. Thank you, patrons. Thank you for joining. Join the Patreon, dude. It's fun over there. It's a fun time. You know, you get like early access to. You know, you get little. If I'm in the edit and I'm like, oh, dude, I want to share. I want to show somebody this. I'll send it to the Patreon, man. Come on, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. I'm trying to come up with like something really cool to do for the first 10 patrons, first 10 paid members, anyway. I think there's like 9 or 10 like free members, but there's 4 paid members. So if we can get up to 10 paid members, that'd be cool, because then we can do something fun for it, you know. Do a little celebration station, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get up to chat view. Get back in the chat. What's up, gang? What's up, gang? Let's see. All right. I want to look at the channel real quickly. Oh, I want to see how the new video is doing. I've really enjoyed the community posts as of late. I've been posting them like not every day. I've been kind of off on them every day, but I've still been posting them regularly. Also, today's video has already passed last week's video in views, which is a dub. Because last week's video was a little bit different. It's a little bit different than the Pocket Notebook ones, or Pocket Notebook related ones that I've been doing. So those are people always tend to enjoy the Pocket Notebook ones quite a bit. But yeah, new video's doing dandy, doing quite dandy schmandy. Ooh, that needs to be fixed. Great episode, dude. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Next video, now that you guys are here at the very end, you can see. The next video is called I Don't Know What to Write About in My Pocket Notebook. I don't know what to write in my pocket notebook. I gotta fix that title. I don't know what to write in my pocket. I thought it looked long. I don't know what to write in my pocket notebook. Okay. Copy. Paste. Shoot. Okay. That works. Oops. Skip to add. Nice, sweet. Yeah, the next video is called I Don't Know What to Write in My Pocket Notebook. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull it up and show you guys. Yeah, here we go. Here's all the latest videos. This is like the page of. This is basically my list of videos that I've got. The one at the very top is next week. It's called I Don't Know What to Write in My Pocket Notebook. This is the thumbnail. It looks really sick, I think. I'm really happy with it. It's kind of like, I don't know what to write. What do I do? You know? I want to watch it back, actually, because I kind of, you know. Melodious Blue. What's up, man? Found this video interesting. The idea behind it was great, but I felt that it repeated the main idea a bit much. Hope you don't mind the constructive. Hey, man, I appreciate any and all constructive criticism. I appreciate that. If you have anything you feel is wrong or might be better, let me know. I appreciate that. Felt that the main idea was a bit much. Okay, so you see, I feel like I repeated the main idea a bit much. Okay, I feel that. I think that was a flaw in the writing because, like I said, this was like a tough one to write. I think what I ended up doing was like I repeated it a lot because it was like I was trying to get to that conclusion. I think that's why it ended up like that. But definitely thank you for bringing that to my attention. Because see, now I can go on and make it better. People are always like, "Oh man, criticism." I'm like, bro, criticism is the best freaking thing. Like, I don't want to be told, "Oh my gosh, this was so amazing, perfect. Everything is perfect about it. There's nothing wrong with it." Like, bro, tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me what's wrong with it. If there's something wrong that you don't like, or if you found it to be whatever, like, just, dude, holla. Oh my goodness gracious, man. I need some water. Director's commentaries always make me thirsty, bro. Be talking for a whole hour. Ice cold, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I kind of just zoned out a little bit there. So what I mean is, rather than start with the idea, hold on 1 second. Rather than start with the idea, explain your meaning and reasoning, then wrap it all up with, and that's how blank idea works for me. You kind of recap the idea after every explanation. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that was just, again, I think it was in the writing. Very interesting topic either way, though. Nice job. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. No, I think that was, like I said earlier, I think that was something about the writing. Because I think in the writing, I was trying to make it make sense to me, which obviously ended up making sense, but I did not consider that it might have been repetitive in hearing it. I don't know if that idea that you're sharing, I don't know if that thought is shared with anybody else. Like, I don't know if anybody else agrees with you, but either way, it's a good insight, and I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Because I could see, now that you bring that up, I could see it, how it could feel that way. So, not denying it whatsoever. But I definitely appreciate constructive criticism. Because that's how we get better, you know? That's how we get better. As artists, as makers of things. And obviously there's a certain level of, like, don't listen to criticism. Because, like, you know, but also there's a level of, like, you know what? I do appreciate that. Do you have a bounce person? So you bounce your ideas off of to see if it needs a rewording? I could do that with basically anybody. Like I said earlier on, I did this with Maddie, my fiance. I read her this and, like, I let her read it, and, like, you know, we went back and forth on it because I was having trouble writing it. I was having trouble getting it to, like, all connect. So I had the idea of the versatility, and then I had the idea of the ownership, and I was having trouble getting those two things to connect. And so that struggle I was sharing with her. And so, yes, I do. To answer your question, now, this was also too, a lot of the repetition was after we had that conversation. So it's entirely possible I just finished writing it and then moved on. I don't really do a lot of multiple drafting in my writing for a video unless it's like, I really, really feel like I need to. Or sometimes it'll all get written in little hunks, and then I have to rewrite it all, but in, just a page or two, or a 3, however many pages it takes, just so I can get all the ideas in order in one place. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But, anywho, that's it for us, man. That's the hour. That is the hour. I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna get some. I'm sleepy too. Jeez, I'm tired. I slept a lot last night. I think I slept from like 10 to freaking 7 or something. 9 hours, whatever that is. I don't know. Either way, it's the hour, my friends. Thank you guys for being here. That's good. I've always felt bouncing an idea off of someone gives you an idea as to how your viewers, no, definitely how they will receive it. I totally agree with that. I love that because it's so hard as the maker of stuff who gives it to an audience. It's so hard, dare I say impossible, to look at it from a viewer's perspective. And really, you can't, because you've seen it come together piece by piece. So it's really hard to look at it all as a whole objectively. So it's really hard. So I totally agree with you. It's really, really difficult. But bouncing an idea off of someone is definitely helpful. My struggle is I have a hard time explaining the idea because a lot of it's just like, it's in my head. I get it down, I shoot it or whatever, and it makes sense to me. But I need to get better at making it make sense to other people, because then I can make everything even better by having that outsider's perspective. Anyway, that's the hour. I'm up, folks. So I'm gonna get off here. Take it easy, You guys have a beautiful night. Have a beautiful, beautiful night, or day, or morning, whatever it is for you. Time zones are a thing. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys' time. Thanks you for spending it with me and hanging out for us. Another director's commentary in the book, episode 53. Thanks, Melodious Blue, for all your insight. I appreciate you, my man. Thanks so much. Have a good day. You as well. Take it easy. See you later next time, gangers.